These are tales of danger and the pursuit of endless riches. Adventurers and heroes from all parts of the world charging into the unknown, setting steel and magic against the most impossible foes, with each time wondering if this would be the last. Storms gather on the horizon, and evil rises from the waters of despair. These are tales of endless adventure. These are the Awakened Fables.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cold War of Fogjar. I am Dungeon Master Sam, and with me we have our full contingent of players. Welcome to Addison, Luke E, Luke F, Michael, and Rob. Now, as of the last session, the group have been able to successfully make their way through the underside of the Feywilds, through the ancient goblin kingdom of Nuktar, I believe it is. Nectar, sorry, very close, where they were able to meet up with the Fey Goblin King Gark. Now, after some fairly intense discussions with Gark, they were able to negotiate for their admittance into the autumnal castle through the king's personal teleportation circle, which will lead them directly past the fortifications of the castle itself and into, pretty much bypassing most of the dangers. This is in exchange for them going through and poisoning the food of the castle in order to weaken the army. Now, before they did so, listeners, I should say, they have also done some shopping, which was done outside of the session time. So if some items pop up, that is exactly why. Now, gentlemen, this is going to be our last session of this entire campaign, and with that we will be entering into real-life sessions once more in Awakened Fables, as at least here in Australia, quarantine has lifted enough that we can now do face-to-face meetups. So, sorry?
You said real-life sessions, unless it sound like laugh.
Well, I did talk with Scott, and apparently that is in the cards at some point. Yeah, I know, right? So, for listeners, it means that as a result of this being the last session, I have a nice little stockpile of Nat 1s and Nat 20s that I am currently sitting on. As is per our normal rules, the players may use their 20s at any time to replace their current roll, except for against a Nat 1. And when they roll a Nat 1 and choose to store it, it means that I may use it at any time. So, currently leading in the rankings, Michael has 8 Nat 20s for his character Rithgar, while Addison with Will is leading the charge with 3 Nat 1s. So, Addison, are you feeling lucky tonight?
Oh, always am. Don't you worry.
Alright.
Have you heard the word hubris, Addison? Oh yeah, it's my favourite word. It's my little rank.
Alright, so in that case, gentlemen, the first thing that we're going to start the session off with pretty much where we ended it last time. The magical circle activates, and after the folding of time and space manages to finish, you find yourself in a small little room, which looks like it's been appointed to be a waiting room. There are very comfortable couches nearby, as well as some flowers, which look like they've seen better days. Across the wall from where you currently are, it looks like there are some bookshelves with some light reading, which look like they are intended to keep people entertained while they obviously are introduced to the castle and allowed past its perimeters. So, at the very least, you can also see a closed door, and as you have a look around, you can see that the castle around you seems to also be made out of worked stone. There are various tapestries and paintings on the walls, but it looks like many of these have not actually been refreshed in some time, giving the room that you're in a bit of a faded and, I suppose, damaged look, as if nobody has really spared the interest or the money to refresh it. Alright, gentlemen, where would you like to begin?
Yeah, the walls on the north side. What are they? They're not bookcases, are they?
Here? Yes, these are bookcases.
I rummage through the bookcases to try and see if there's anything that matches.
All right. Roll me an investigation. Sure. All right, a 15 and a 21. All right, so we'll be taking the 21. As you have a look through the various bookshelves, you're able to ascertain that it looks like the majority of things in here seem to be purely for light reading. You can also see quite a number of propaganda which seems to elicit and extol the virtues of the Autumnal King as one of the most powerful Fey Lords that there currently is. However, considering the age of these particular books, you get the impression that many of these books aren't necessarily telling the truth. You aren't really able to get too much more information. However, you are able to note down that it looks like many of these books are actually talking about an Autumn King, as opposed to the Autumn Prince that many people have been referring to up to this point. Alright, so Will, Tinkrit, and Solturum, what would you guys like to be doing while your comrades are ransacking the bookcase?
Is that door open or closed?
The door is currently closed.
Trimp will change form. Can a spider or a rat go underneath it?
Yes.
No. Closed form. Go and have a look on the other side.
Alright. So, much like the room you're in, it doesn't look like this door has received much uptake, and Trimp is very quickly able to shift into a spider form and slip between the cracks which are existing between the planks of wood that make up the door. Now, when he gets through to the other side, let me very quickly open up a bunch of this. He emerges into a fairly large corridor. Immediately outside of the door, Trimp is also able to see two very bored-looking fairies who are pretty much just yawning as they stand. It doesn't look like they're really expecting much trouble, and if anything, are going to be rather easy to distract.
I whisper to these guys, shh, with their rustling, and say, there's two Fae outside the door. Keep it quiet.
Alright. Solturum and Will? There is silence.
Right. What else is in the room?
Everything that I've described up to this point.
Right. Not sure. So at the door there was two fairies. Did they look like they were standing up?
To Trimp's perception, yes, it does look like they were. There are also windows which look out onto the grounds, and when you guys have a look at outside, you can see a fairly large, expansive estate, but again, it doesn't look like it has been maintained. So it's surrounded by very wild gardens, trees which have been allowed to grow out of control, and many of these trees also seem to be currently browning, as if they are, in fact, in the autumn season at the moment.
Should we find a way to take out these Fae? Put them to sleep? Well, actually, not put to sleep. Well, take them out some kind of way so we can make our way deeper into the castle.
Have a cast sleep. Yeah, but they're Fae, so sleep can work.
Oh,
I think we should skip them. But I guess I wanted to ask you guys, are we going to assault here? Or are we going to, try and sneak? What are we trying to do?
I think it's probably easier to sneak our way up before we do any stabbing. Try not to alert people to the best of our abilities.
Well, we can have that. We can hide behind over here, like these places behind here. have Trip open the door, they'll turn around and then they'll stab them in the room. Or
Oh, yeah, that works. Might as well leave them in here or hide behind.
yeah, leave them in here and hide against the walls. We're,
Yeah,
all pretty,
and then
good- we're all pretty good at hiding, right?
Correct. Plus 10.
Yeah. Let's try and bring them in, kill them.
So as you quickly scan around the room, you are able to confirm that while there are some hiding places, most notably if you do move the couches forward a little bit, there is very limited spaces. So at most you'd probably be able to hide 2 or 3 of your party. You wouldn't be able to hide the full group.
You don't get to hide. You just need to be not in eyesight when they walk in so that we can...
Right. I could throw my voice, use deception to throw my voice to say,
How big are these pots down here?
Fairly small. They're not going to fit a halfling.
So if 3 of us can hide, then one of us just stands next to the door and stabs first.
yes. You were the best stabbers.
I'm not bad, but you're probably better.
Can I investigate the door to see which way it opens?
The door opens inwards.
Sorry guys, I've just got some family stuff to do for 5 minutes.
All good.
So Esturan falls asleep.
Send me on my character.
All right. Solturum falls asleep.
Put them on the couch.
Oh, let's do the table trick. We can get Trip to stand behind. We can trip them over. When they come in, I'll throw my voice outside to like here, so they'll turn around and then we can push them over. And they're on the ground. You want to try that?
Yeah. Well, is that more a strength thing? Because I think our second strongest character just went to sleep.
Solturum, the second strongest.
Wait, is it Will the strongest? Or second strongest?
Who might be the strongest?
Solturum has no modifiers in strength. He is just a flat 10.
Oh, Will. Can you?
Basically,
What's the smallest thing you can make yourself?
Probably a frog. Somewhere. Oh no.
Well, frogs can cling to walls. If we could get someone to come to this point here, then you could hang up as a frog down here and then fall down and stop them from getting out, and we'll just basically stab them.
I would like to also apologize. Michael, you are absolutely correct. Solturum with the flat 10 is actually the second strongest of the group.
it's very charisma based party, alright?
Charm is mightier than the sword.
Alright, so what would you guys like to do?
Will? Frog Will?
Frogville is pretty cool.
So as you just debate your strategy, Norloth, as you have a look around, you can feel a bit of a magical pulse which begins to emit through the room. And as you have a look around and center in on exactly where it's coming from, using your passive 18 in Arcana, you're able to establish that it looks like there is currently a ward on this room, which would normally trip to announce that there are currently visitors. You will either need to stop the ward from going out, or you will only have about 10 seconds before the castle is advised that you're currently here.
And I spell Armament or
Yep.
Table it?
How would you like to do so?
Would counter spell work here or
Counterspell? Yes, that would work. It is a fairly basic ward, so it's functionally just a ward of the alarm spell. So it shouldn't take too much for you to disable using a counterspell.
yeah, I'll just counterspell it when they open the door.
Alright. Okay.
So I'm gonna go here. Get Shrimp to come back to open the door and come back inside. Probably want someone here to make them come towards them. And then we need probably the other stabby here. Does that make sense to people? Is there, they want to make amendments to that plan?
If there's silence, I assume that it's a good plan.
Yeah. Sorry, just getting out of it now. Yes, this is good. I like this plan.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
They want to move themselves to where they should be then. Places, people!
Alright. As you guys begin to move yourself around the room, there is a little bit of rummaging from outside. Trimp begins to scurry towards the door, and he's going to be changing shape again, I'm assuming? Just...
He can just be a spider to get through, but once he gets back here, he'll go back to his normal shape and go invisible.
Yep. Alright.
Or remain invisible. Yeah.
So, with the preparations complete, Trimp waits until he receives a signal from Tinkrit, and when Tinkrit provides the nod, the door is abruptly opened. Now, those of you who are currently in the room, you are able to see that the opening of the door does seem to gain the attention of the two guards outside. One of them immediately turns and begins to quest inside of the room, while the other one moves over in order to back him up. And to give you guys a visual as to exactly what you're facing at the moment. Sorry? Honestly, I'm just going to assume you pass what with a passive. Yeah. Alright. So.
Sorry, I forgot to say that I'm past mage armor and shadow blade.
Alright. So the first of the guards enters the room, and you are able to confirm from that it is definitely a Fae. Now, the armor that they're currently wearing seems to be constructed to look like autumnal leaves, so the orangey red color. Both of them seem equipped with a fairly large sword, as well as a bow and arrow, which is currently on their back. Now, the two of them seem to embody the standard Fae physical qualities, so they are inhumanely beautiful, but even as they begin to talk and mutter to each other, you can see exceptionally sharp teeth coming from the two of them. Now, since you guys are prepared for this, you may enter into a bonus round. Michael, I assume that you are doing that particular attack?
That was me trying to show the spell that I still can't do the roll. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Alright, well, in that case, let us go via your current order in the Discord. So, Addison, what would you like to do as the first guard enters the room?
So I'm currently on the roof at the front. So I'm actually just going to hold the second Addison.
Alright. Second is Luke E.
I guess I have to waste my turn to spell in the ward.
Yep. Alright. We'll come back to Luke F. Michael?
I moved to there, and moved to there and stabbed the first one as hard as I can.
Alright. So, hit me up with the attack.
I'm going to need to roll an extra 2d8 after I do this. I'm just using the rapier as warning that, because it's just shadow blade, it's got an extra 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
Is there advantage on this because it's surprise, or?
Not at the current moment.
Shrimp is there. Shrimp is next to the first one, so you do get it. Just helping self action.
Ah, yes, Trimp. Forgot about that. Oh, Trimp. 19. Ooh, you are very lucky, as that 19 puts you over and actually lets you hit. So, let's have a look here. It is going to be doing 11 piercing and 6 sneaking for a total of 17 points of damage. Alright. So, as you enter into the room, it looks like the guard doesn't necessarily seem overly prepared to be immediately attacked, and as you lunge forward, they begin to grasp at their sword in order to try and draw it, and as they do, they tilt to the side in order to ensure that whatever the brunt of whatever attack you do is caught by their current armor. Is there any flavor you would like to provide?
Oh, sorry. I make one additional weapon attack.
Mm-hmm.
It gives an extra D advantage. Sorry.
That's all good. That's... yep, there it is. 1d8 plus 3. Okay, so that's going to be 10 additional damage. Cool.
Double advantage.
It's a hit anyway.
It's all good. It hit. Alright. So, you are able to get off a shallow nick again, across the stomach of the guard, but it doesn't look like you really land much of a critical blow. Yeah, so no flavor.
Yeah, I guess I lunge forward, slashing with my blade of darkness, and just don't really do much.
Fair enough. Alright, in that case, tinker it.
I am going to stab this. I will attack the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And with advantage. Oh, great.
Ooh, 15 or a 17. Unfortunately, neither of those actually hits.
Okay. I get my second attack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lift my game.
With the 27? Yes.
I'll roll again. Maybe I'll get a crit. No. Nope.
Nope.
What's that? That work? Stop breaking it down.
Sorry?
It's just like, yeah, 13 damage. Plus, but wait, there's more. Twin blade. That'll be to both of them. And it'll be plus 5 to the second one.
Oh, and...
14 and 19.
Alright.
And sneak attack damage, which is 4d8. 46 rather.
Alright, roll that. 17. Okay, that's going to be 31 to the first one, I believe. Alrighty, and that's it for your attacking?
Yeah, because I haven't done haste or anything else like that.
No worries. Alright, so as Rithgar moves in to try and attack the first guard as they are walking in, the tilting of the guard in order to try and avoid the initial attack from Rithgar is why your first attack doesn't hit. Tinkrit is able to adjust the his accuracy though, and the second one does hit along with the green flame blade and obviously the sneak attack. What flavor would you like to provide?
So, as you say, I reach in for the first one and don't anticipate their dodging. The second one, I figure that they're not moving their feet very much, so I could thrust it through their thigh and through one guy's thigh into the second guy. So that one gets 14 points of green flame, the other one gets 19 points of green flame.
Alrighty. So, the two guards yell in pain as that occurs. Luke. Luke F., you're back with Salterum? Excellent.
What shield have you got? Looks like you are currently
Just
attacking
cast,
2 players.
just cast a spell.
Alright, so the guard that's just walked in, they're stabbed a bit, basically. Yep, so we're currently in a bonus round, so after this I'll get you guys to roll into initiative.
Alright, so bonus round. Well,
Fair enough. Alright, so Tinkrit will now be hasted. And that's it for your turn?
I'm going to spend. One second. Yes, that is it.
Yep, no worries.
Um,
Alright, and Addison, did you want to do anything with your little frog, or should we roll into initiative?
The second guard hasn't walked into the door yet.
Not yet.
Okay, no.
You can walk behind me.
Yeah, actually, I might crawl. So I'm going to see I'm there. I'm going to crawl over and I guess jump behind and change back into human form.
Yep. Alright. As a frog, do you have the frog stats there?
Let me pull it up. I'm sure I do have it somewhere. No, I don't have it at hand. Give me a second. I'll just search it. Frog stats. Yes, I have frog stats now.
Yep, perfect. Alright, and if it's the same one I'm looking at, its passive dexterity is +1.
Yes.
Alright. Now, considering the size of the frog, I'm going to basically providing advantage, so it's going to be a 16. So, as you attempt to jump by the guard, one of the guards is completely spooked as you pretty much as a random frog flashes past him. He is going to attempt to make an attack at you. Well, hello, settle down.
In a surprise round, or is this the second round?
This is still part of the surprise round. And apparently rolls a 22, which I believe is going to be enough to knock you out of being a frog.
Yes, I have 1 hit point.
That'll do it. Alright, so one of the while the guard in the front is currently distracted by, being stabbed, the one in the back is startled as the frog attempts to rush by him and unfortunately manages to get off a lucky hit. Now, normally that would pretty much dissect the frog into 2 different parts. However, it forces you to come out of your particular transformation and pretty much land directly on top of the guard. The guard, for now, will be knocked prone, and as will you.
Hey, it's a win-lose.
Alright, gentlemen, please roll into initiative.
Seriously, the one time I get a fucking nat 20 is an issue.
It's not the first time we've done that.
I know.
At turn, Will, who gets a 22, and that pretty much puts him at the head of the counter, I believe. Tinkrit gets a ridiculous 30. I think that might be among the highest I've ever seen you actually roll there. Rithgar gets a 21. For whatever reason, it decided to give you a 9 in the actual counter. Solturum gets 12, and Norloth gets a 19. Listen to me, roll 20, gosh. And lastly, our 2 very valiant guards get a 12. And that's not right. Oh, Norloth, that's why. Alright, Luke, what is Solturum's dexterity modifier? He does not have one. I have just opened it up myself. Alright, so in that case, it looks like the... Alright, so in that case, it looks like the Elven Fey guards are ahead of you. Alright, so with the start of round 1, tinker it.
I will stab things.
Maybe a high
Yes. What does haste do? Just give me any bonuses to attack?
Yes. Till the spell ends, the target's speed is doubled, it gains a +2 bonus to AC, has advantage on dexterity saving throws, and gains an additional action on each of its turns. So you're not going to be stabbing, you're pretty much going to be Julianing.
23.
That's a hit.
25, so I'll do damage for that. Which will be something. Didn't work. Try it again. Is it working?
Can't see any damage.
14 for the stab.
And it looks like you do algebra of damage.
Some of that. 4d6 for the sneak attack. 10 and the green flame blade. Is 9. 9 for the front one and 14 for the back guy.
Mm-hmm.
How are they looking?
So
What's the total damage there?
I think do something. 16. What's that one from? That's from you. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I did 16 and I did 26, 35 for the first guy, and 14 for the second guy.
alright. So your particular attacks are going to leave the...
I've got 2 more.
Oh, yep. Alright. Both of them are still up. Alright. The second attack does not hit. That is a nat 20. I'll put it this way, if you manage to get anything higher than a 36, you're just going to automatically kill this guy. So, from the looks of things, you well and truly do. So, how would you like to kill this guy outright?
I can't understand the cheat of him standing up after the first 2 times I stabbed him. So this time instead of stabbing, I just decided to slash with my rapier and I basically arm him and fall completely with one to each side.
Alrighty. So there is a lingering gasp as the Fae realizes that not only have you been attacking, but you have also been attacking with cold iron, and as a result, when he is fully bisected, his eyes focus on you very momentarily before he just topples to the ground. Alright.
What's happening with the cold iron? Do I notice any difference from cold iron attacks?
Basically, it just causes more of a necrosis effect on any Fae that you actually hit. Alright, so with that, you currently have the guard here who has been knocked prone and currently has Will pretty much awkwardly on top of him. As a result, that's going to provide you with a disadvantage to actually hit him, unless you want to take the risk of actually stabbing Will as well.
I move here. My bonus is to try and hide.
Alright. with a 31. Alright, so there is a bit of an old dresser nearby which seems to contain a variety of knickknacks. You are able to hide yourself behind that dresser. Alright, and is that it for your turn? Excellent. Alright, Will. So you're currently prone and you're kind of wrestling a bit with the final guard. So what would you like to do from here?
So I'm not grappled, just kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
Alright, so I can get up if I need. Okay. Let's see what I can use to hit him.
Looks around, finds Tinkrit, hits him with Tinkrit.
Will he have disadvantage on a dex check because he's prone, or he will make the fail?
He will automatically fail.
Okay. This is good. Alright, great. So the only thing I have that's a dex check is a cantrip. That's not going to do a lot of damage, but let's do it. I'm going to create a bonfire on him.
Sounds dangerous.
Yep. Oh.
Don't mind.
Didn't roll. No, this does.
Alright, so that is obviously automatically going to fail. So 19 points of fire damage.
Because he has leaf armor, does it do any more damage?
No, it
Does he
doesn't.
catch fire?
It's just stylized to look like leaves.
Okay. This is fine.
Alright, any flavor you'd like to provide?
Pretty much, whilst we're wrestling around with him, I get up, put my knee on his chest, and just rub my hands together, and just pretty much light a small bonfire on his chest. Maybe his hair catches fire and he starts to get a bit singed.
Alrighty. So as Will begins to cast the magic forth, it looks like your magic takes a quick second to actually search for anything to burn, and it begins to slide in between the armor plating until you can smell the scent of singed clothing as it begins to burn at the protective tunic between him and his chainmail. Alright. And Rithgar, who is doing athletics checks, apparently.
I don't know why, though. I got a 22, so I did it.
That's pretty good.
Can I step forward, pull the last phase head back, and try to cut his throat?
You may. So at the current time, the armor class of the Fae is at a 19. If you'd like to do an outright throat cut to end the battle, I'm going to put a 24 on his AC instead. So keep in mind he is also being set on fire and kneeled upon by your comrade.
Would I have advantage on that roll because he's restrained?
Not for this one. Basically, you'd be operating around Will in order to try and get the throat cut, and Will's very inconveniently placed right now.
Oh, that's...
I'll give it a go nonetheless.
But you know what? The audacity of this Fae just killing an innocent frog. What the fuck? I just realised that. He didn't know I was a guy. He just killed the frog.
I mean, to be fair, if something jumps at my face, I'd probably swat at it. Alright, so a 22. You're not going to be able to cut the throat, unfortunately.
So I guess I grab his head, pull it back, and he yanks it free.
Yep. Alright, and that will do 18 points of damage. I keep having to move Will out of the way on my side. Alright, any flavor you'd like to provide?
Oh, so it actually it hit, it just didn't kill him.
That's right. So it was a hit, it wasn't a throat cut.
Well, I guess as this slashes back, he yanks his head back before I can move.
Yep.
Go for the jugular.
Fair enough. All right. Is that it?
It is.
All right. North. Luke?
Yeah. I don't think it will get around for me, to be honest. I guess I'll just Eldritch Blast.
Sure thing.
Do I have advantage because it's triple or not?
It will automatically hit because he is on the ground.
So should I just roll damage then?
Pretty much. $38 points of damage. All right.
And they're all plus 4 as well.
So plus 24.
All right. Well, that is just going to outright kill him. So, how would you like to do so?
I just kind of walk over to him and just put 6 Eldritch Blasts right in his skull.
All right. So, the first 5 go in with a fairly sickening squelch sound. However, the final one causes a very final cracking sound as it manages to break through the skull. The Eladrin goes stiff and then falls to the ground.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. So, you guys now have access to the first of the halls. It doesn't look like your scuffle has been able to attract the attention of anyone at the moment, but where you currently are, much like in the room that you just were, you can see a fairly long hallway which currently has about 5 other doors in total, one of which you've just come with the other 4 leading off into unknown areas. At the opposing end of the hall, you guys can see a fairly wide double door, which is probably the most intricate and well-maintained part of this area that you can currently look around. Much like in the previous room, you can also see various signs of wear and tear upon the items, tapestries, and paintings which decorate this hallway as well.
Right. We can either clear this hallway room by room, or go through the double doors. I can stick a wall of stone up behind us in the event that the Autumn Prince is on the other side of those double doors.
I think it will be a lot more efficient to, I guess, well, depends. Do I want to be safe or do I want to be efficient? Because obviously, probably the Autumn Prince is going to be at the end of the double doors, but there might be others, or even loot inside the separate doors.
We don't know that he's behind the double doors.
Maybe Trim can go
Double
check
doors
that.
do signify something of importance at the.
I don't want to have people behind us, so I think we should have Trimp have a look into the other rooms.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Was that Trim talking?
All right. Which room would you like to send Trimp into first?
I think the one on my left here.
His bedroom.
All right.
Right, Trimp should go. You can say good night now. Say good night.
Good night, everybody.
No promises. Sleep well.
That one goes after me.
All right. No worries. So for everyone else, as Trimp emerges into this room in spider form, he is able to have a quick look around and is able to see that this one seems to be a main dining hall. As you guys can now see on the map, there are currently 2 fairly long tables, though contrary to what is appearing on Roll20, there is no food currently on those tables. There are 6 guards currently dotted around the room that he's able to see, as well as 2 braziers, which are currently flaring up around an empty throne, which is located at the center of the room. It looks like this room is primarily dedicated to the meeting and greeting of guests. And again, like the hallway, you guys can, Trimp is able to ascertain that there does seem to be a lot of wear and tear to the features of this room.
Okay. Well,
Are we sneaking in and taking them out, or are we going in labs?
Why don't we see what's in the upgrade?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, Tinker continues to direct Trimp, and it doesn't take long before you guys are provided with a very quick, or at least a quick and dirty version of what is seeable around the entire of this ground floor. So give me a quick sec. Alright. Now, in the hallway directly to your character's right, this door over here leads... Well, no, I can't ping using that tool. This door leads into a library, which doesn't seem to have any residents currently in it. Trimp is also able to see that there is a large kitchen attached to the central greeting hall, and it looks like that particular section is dedicated... that section, as well as several others, are dedicated more to the servant side of the castle. So there is a storeroom over here, as well as a guard's barracks down here. Trimp is also able to confirm that there is a single guard waiting in the hallway, just pretty much lounging outside of the kitchen over here.
Right. Guys, do you reckon there's any cursed books in that library that we could use and abuse?
To be frank, I think our Lord, the Dungeon Master, has made this place well and truly up.
Not a little Easter egg for us.
Not my view is if we can avoid stirring up the guards in that room, we should go to the stairways at the end of the stairway at the end of this hall and proceed.
All right. So in that case, Trimp is...
Sorry, before we do that, can we please pick the bodies up of these two dead bay and close the door to the teleportation room?
Oh, yeah. Is there any... Do I have any way to get rid of the body quickly?
I'll clean up the blood with precipitation.
Can we open the windows?
Yes, all of the windows are capable of being opened. Though it does look like in some places there are no longer windows, there is simply shutters.
Right. Does the outside look like it's ever patrolled much?
So at least the view that you guys... Sorry?
Let's just leave it in the room. There's no one in that room. There are guards going in. Why don't we just... What are those brown things along the wall? Are they more bookcases?
Yeah, those are just bookcases.
And are those plants in the corner?
Yes.
How bushy are the plants?
Not overly, they're more flower vases.
Let's just chop up
Little pieces.
All right, I'm listening. No, I think he was onto something.
Chop them up to little pieces, right, and then fit them like, you know how you cut out a bit of a thick book, put their pieces inside the books. Might be able to, but they're not going to have Is time of the essence? That is my question. Because if not, we can spend the time and hide these bodies properly.
Look, Will, I'll write that downright maliciousness that goes into that sort of thought process, but I'm assuming it will be a guard change scheduled at some time in the future, and I doubt we have time to give your idea its full worth and effort.
Yeah, my haste runs out too. Yeah, right. Let's chuck them out the window and just pull me from the back.
Alrighty. So, with that, I suppose you guys very respectfully yeet these two bodies out a window.
I respectfully do it and just take a little piece of off.
Don't worry, Rifka, I want to do the same. I know exactly how you feel.
So Tim Cook, I think we're agreed to keep in the hallway and go upstairs, as we don't want to disturb the 6 or 7 guards that are in the other rooms next to us.
They will come up to us afterwards.
Well,
Assume it always happens. Just so we're clear that that's going to happen. but I think they're less danger to us than if we go upstairs. And I mean, if we can fight all these guys and whatever's upstairs comes downstairs, I think it's the right decision.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to use my what's his name, the weave, the shift weave, to replicate the armor, one of the Fae, the autumnal armor.
All right.
Are there any Fae that are halfling sized?
There are
Or
not.
will he? Yeah, very suspicious wearing.
The shift weave does stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. So in that case, from the sounds of it, you guys are proceeding north into this stairwell.
Correct.
All right.
Can I use my primeval awareness?
Yes, you can. All right. So in total, you are able to detect. You are able to detect 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're able to detect that there are currently 8 Fae located in the castle.
And 6
Downstairs.
Interesting.
Sorry, I apologize. 9. There are 9 in the castle. I miscounted. Wait. 2, 4, 6. Nope, 10. There's 10. I'm really bad at this. Alright, so in that case, gentlemen, like I mentioned prior to this session, we will move on to the second floor of the castle. So for those of you in America, the first... Wait.
No,
You guys were just on ground floor, so now we're on the first floor.
This will be first floor for us, second floor for anyone else.
Yep. Okay, cool.
What a technique.
Anyway, that puts you guys, if you will move the map down into the bottom left, you will see that there is now an area that has currently lit up.
I'm also going to put this on myself for my bagpipes.
Yep, protection from good and evil, easy enough.
And guess who that is? Not protecting myself.
Wild guess, I'm going to guess the Fae. Alright, apparently the stairwell I've put as a character, so I will move that back to where it's meant to be. Alright, there we go. Did I do that with the other stairwell? Yes, I did. Wow, did not do that thoroughly. Alright, you guys emerge out into another sealed room, much like the one from before. Are you guys going to be continuing your thing of sending out Trimp?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. So this time Trimp begins to wiggle his way into this immediate area, and while there is a small hallway directly in front of you, it opens up into a small little nook upon which there are 2 more fairy guards currently standing guard outside of 2 doors. Now, Trimp, with his passive perception, is able to smell that there does seem to be the scent of food somehow as a spider. There is a scent of food coming from the southern part of this map. However, he cannot smell anything coming from the northern part.
He's going to get through a door and then he changes back to his normal form.
Alright, which door does he want to go in?
I'm saying any door that he's going through, he changes to a spider. As soon as he's through the door, he changes back to his normal form. Door is remaining in the door.
Okay, so he's just going to explore the entire top floor?
I don't know. Do you think we should, guys?
Might as well. That's what we did with last time. We just went into invisible.
Okay, let's do that.
Alright,
Give us a rundown of what was going on.
give me a quick sec then. Bam. Alright, so what Trimp is able to advise to you is that it does look like this is currently the section which is reserved for the family of the castle. In particular, it looks like there is a familial dining room down here, so an informal dining room, while in here there seems to be a family study. Now, while Trimp is in there, he is able to see that there seems to be a unarmed female Fae who is currently sitting on one of the lounges in there, reading a book. She doesn't seem to have any other weapons upon her, and as far as things go, Trimp kind of acknowledges her as a non-threat. Aside from that, in the through the door directly opposite you guys, it looks like there is another stairwell, while to the north of the informal dining room, it looks like there is a bedroom.
Right. Do we want to inform the non-combatant that she should probably get out before we burn this whole place down?
We want to non-combat off again.
Just because she looks unthreatening, I mean, how is Trimp assessing that?
I mean, she could be a mage of some sort. That is true.
Why don't we see if we can scope out either go back downstairs and try and stealth past the guard and up the other set of stairs, or go down the stairs at the end of this, which would require us taking out these two fights.
That book could also be a very good. Can Trink describe better?
Can Trimp what, sorry?
Can Trink describe the cover of the book to Ciruimon or
Probably a diary.
Yep. So the book that she's currently reading appears to be a fictional account. It doesn't look like she's currently reading anything heavy.
Okay. I've got a statement here. You might know.
Yep. Should have made a Skyrim reference. She's reading the Lusty Argonian.
No. Right. Do we reckon do we think I should maybe sneak in, pop an insight check on her, see if she's good or bad, and then see what's up, or do you reckon we can just leave her and dismiss her as a combatant?
I don't really think this for sure as a combatant, but I'd much. My preference would be for us to scope out as much of this castle as we possibly can before we choose where we're going to attack first. And if we have Trimp with us, we can we can explore the other part of the second level. Alternatively, go to the third level and just see exactly where everything is. We know at the moment we've got 7 enemies downstairs. We've got 2, possibly 3, in this area. It would be good to know, where the rest of the. That means that there is.
That's got to be 2 more ups.
That's 10 though, isn't it?
9.
Have I mentioned I'm really bad at counting?
That means we're up to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. That's 8 just here, and then which would mean 1 or 2 more upstairs, I think.
No, there's 7 on the ground floor, and there's 3 on the second floor.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. There's 2 grounds right in front of us, and then there's the old mate, or the old mate.
I didn't see those 2.
So that means that there is at least 1, if not more, upstairs. Right.
Alright. So, what would you guys like to do? If you would like to go through with your plan to get Trimp to scope out as much of this place as possible, I can unveil as much as is possible.
Yep.
Yep.
I figure we're not going to be able to sneak past there anyway, because that's not a water.
Alrighty. So in that case, I'm going to slightly retcon this so that you guys are basically as aware of what's going on pretty much. You haven't left the library until Trimp has gone through and scoped out the entirety of what I'm about to unveil. Alrighty. So, through the stairwell directly ahead of where you guys are, so the one I'm about to ping on the map, it looks like that one leads through to a locked door. The locked door being a lot more secure than pretty much any other location currently here within the estate. Now, when
This is the one on the 3rd floor, is it?
yes, that's right. So this leads to the third floor. Now, if you guys go up the stairwell, the opposite stairwell on the other side of the castle, it appears that leads to a area of servants' quarters as indicated by the floor. Now, it looks like this area is exclusively intended to only host the servants, as you can tell by the very rough and shoddy method of its actual construction. The family quarters over here, you guys can see that there's a bit of a different design. Now, it looks like the servants' quarters are currently divided into two sections. One, there is a single bedroom, which appears to only host one bed as well as a chest. The second bedroom currently hosts a double set of bunk beds, so a total of 4 beds as well as 2 chests in them. There aren't currently any servants located within this particular bedroom, but as Trimp enters into this bedroom, he is able to ascertain a singular figure within this bedroom, currently having a nap on the bed. It takes a moment for Tinkrit to recognize who the individual is, as it's been quite a while since he's seen him, but he's eventually able to place the person having a nap on the bed as Puck, the bard of the Prince Meikle, who you guys had met within the first session.
Oh my god.
No curve.
Dun dun dun.
He's the real enemy.
Is he having a leisurely nap, or is he like chained to the bed? Does he look like he's being held prisoner?
Interestingly, he doesn't look like he is he is not here as a prisoner, but it looks like his clothing is quite a lot more luxurious than you would have actually expected, considering the treatment he was receiving previously. Now, even as Trimp is beginning to move around the room silently, something seems to wake Puck up, and as he sits up blearily and then shakes his head and goes through the standard methods of actually waking up, he raises his hand to an amulet around his throat, which abruptly changes his image from that of Puck to the Prince Meikle that you guys had seen previously. When that occurs, Puck, he searches around on the wall here, and abruptly finding something, manages to open up a secret tunnel. No, bad Addison. Do not need that in my head right now.
Child is saying good night.
Good night, child. So once in there, he goes through and begins to move around this particular chamber instead, letting the secret passage close behind him.
Alright. That's interesting to hear.
Sam, is there anything here? Or is that to the outside?
This northern wall does not lead to any window, neither does this one, but you cannot see anything through there.
Sorry, if we could going back up to the top, does the stairwell on the left on the bottom floor, does that lead to the same stairwell?
So, which stairwell?
Scrolling back to the top.
Yep, that one. That will lead to this stairwell on the second floor.
Okay, cool.
And the other stairwell.
But I could.
Sorry, say again.
I could get past it. No, if I just look off.
Gaseous form, guys. We'll just gas through.
Oh, I can turn invisible.
Right, well, ultimately, I guess that top floor will be our ultimate goal. The next question is, do we want to hack and slash our way there, or sneak our way there?
Well, these guys are going to be coming up behind us.
That is correct. So, would we rather find a way to keep them out, or eliminate them from ever being able to come up?
Well, I think if they all come up the stairs at once, we might be able to
Kind of funnel them or block them off.
yeah. But there's a secret door that's going upstairs. So go into that room. Where's the trick where he went? Sorry, Sam, I didn't quite understand that.
No, you just went through the servants' quarters into the bedroom.
Into here.
Into here, yeah. You went from there to there.
And this door is locked.
That's right.
And Trick has been in here and found nobody in there.
That's right.
Up is in there.
Right. So the bedroom that Puck has entered into is much more ornately appointed. It looks like this particular bedroom would have been intended for whoever rules the castle. So in this particular case, it would be assumed to be the Autumn Prince.
I think we should kill those guards and kill Puck.
Up is probably the
Yeah, I was going to say, was he pretending to be the prince all along, and he's actually got the real prince trapped, or was the real prince also in it, or was he also Puck and just an illusion?
Remember what we're trying to get here. We're trying to get their artifact and kill their children or something like that. Along those lines. I can't really remember. It's been a while.
Look. Anyway, first step is kill the guards, I suggest.
Agreed.
I'd probably dash to here and kill her.
Alright, so if that's the case, is that what you guys would like to do?
Do you want to do bottom floor first, or we'll just stay on this floor? Well, I could position myself here and just twin spell fireballs into the stairwell.
I've got caltrops and ball bearings. We can put them on the stairs there.
Yeah.
On here.
And then I can just I can drop fireballs in as well.
First, I can't do another spell. Where is it?
If we do it quietly, we won't have to bother.
Here, with the warding. And put that at the top of the stairs, and they come up, they're going to blow up.
We put one of the spell books in the stairwell as well, and the fireballs in it. We won't have to worry about that stairwell up.
Yeah. So now I'm going to cast a boost of warding.
Yep, alrighty. Okay, so Tinker, you are able to cast that upon the stairwell without too much of a problem, and after that I presume you guys are going to open the door and begin to move forward?
And there's ball bearing and caltrops as well.
Alright.
He's slowed and hurt.
And maybe stick Trink in the stairwell so that he can come screaming out.
I think probably best to send Trink to here to make sure that anything comes down here, wherever.
Alright. Well, no, that's good. Okay, well, do you want to be hasted?
I don't know how is it still lasting? I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm just going to check. It's 1 minute.
Oh, never mind.
So it's basically, what is that, 6 rounds?
Yep, so pretty much gone by this point.
10 rounds, yeah. So I'll haste you.
Alright, so keep in mind, if you guys want to be doing this without disturbing any of the other castle inhabitants, you're going to have to do this fairly quietly. So, 1, preventing the people you're attacking from shouting out, and 2, not making much of a noise as you go. So, for the most part, I'm going to assume Tinkrit can probably handle this. You guys, in general, should be able to handle this because of Will's pass without trace. But if anybody manages to get a shout off, then, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
Unless I polymorph one of you into a Labrador. You will love it.
Let's save that.
Fair enough. Alright, well, gentlemen, please start your
You get a surprise
thing.
round?
Let's have a look.
Can we do a stealth check?
They roll off a 21, so you will not get a surprise round as the door opens. So it's going to immediately just jump into combat. So in that case, Rob with Tinkrit, you are first up.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, where are we on the map? Are we currently where we are, or did we move?
I assume that you are where you are, so here.
Okay, do we need to roll initiative?
I'm just going to use the one from before. Not too much of a difference, so. Okay, so that's 30 feet, and then that's 45 feet. Easy enough. Alright, so, Rob, what would you like to do? Shocker. A 2. We got the halflings nat 1.
What is that? That looks like it's on the corner of a 19 and a 3 on my screen.
Yeah, but it's coming off as a 19 on my side. For whatever reason, it's giving the green glow of a nat 20, though. That's weird. You don't have anything that makes a nat 20...
When I'm a... It's a critical hit when it's a 19 or 20.
Oh, yep, there you go.
Okay, so he gets 16 points of damage plus 2d6 for the 9 blade and 4d6 for sneak attack and 2d8 for green flame blade.
Getting a lot of ones with these ones.
Oh well, from time to time, I guess. 16, 20, was that 22?
36 so far.
36, that's it, the first attack. Or second attack, rather. I got a third attack.
You're hasted it.
Yeah, it's my third attack. Behave yourself.
But it doesn't want to.
13, 19. Inflame Blade's 9.
28.
And sneak attack is
18.
oh, was it 18? Sneak
Yeah, yeah, you put it on there. Sneak attack 18, hex 3. What's HBC?
Oh, I don't have that. That's like a Hex Blade's curse. I don't have a Hex or Hex Blade's curse.
Okay, not bad. So you got 18 for sneak attack.
I'm counting 75.
It's less than that.
What's the F?
28. Hey, shush for a moment. 19, 28 plus 18. So 46. 46, yeah.
46 plus the 13 from the d6s.
No, the d6s are wrong.
Okay, no worries. Alright, so that brings us up to a total of 82 points of damage being smacked down on this poor unsuspecting Fae. Alright, so you're going to be damaging them enough that you're pretty much going to be breaching through and committing some pretty lethal attacks to them. What flavor would you like to provide? They are still going to survive it.
Well, I kind of had hoped that I would kill him and I'm just disappointed. So, I say, bow before me or suffer death next time.
Fair enough. Alright, and is that it for your turn?
It's for my turn. Actually, I still got a little bit of movement bonus. I will move there because I'm a duelist. They can't get an attack of opportunity, and I hide.
Alright, so pretty much it's still going to be in direct line of sight of this particular guard as well, so it's going to be very difficult for you to hide.
What have I got left? 1,
I make reference to my meme on the chat during the week.
Yeah, but I can hide anything bigger than like human. I can hide.
Good advice.
This door is locked, however.
Okay, then I'll go this way.
I'm hiding behind the door.
That door locked.
Sorry?
Is this door locked?
This door is not.
Okay. Oink.
Jumps into the flower vase. Alright.
Actually, peering out from the bushes.
Alright. Will, go ahead.
Right. So I'm going to move my 30 feet there. Should I finish off the one that Rob was going for? How far is that? 15, yeah, should be fine. We'll just cast. Oh, I forgot I had this. I'm gonna cast Branding Smite. And so that's my bonus action. And then throw a javelin at it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Why does it take so long to go through now? What the hell? Did it wrong?
Yep, just took a while.
Jesus, 15's not gonna hit. I am. Ooh, should I use a luck point and reroll?
Actually, I'm going to be invoking your Nat 1.
Yay!
Alright. What can I do here? Alright. So, as you begin to throw the javelin, what is the flavouring that you're providing for the branding smite?
It's coming from my necklace of prayer beads, so I'm pretty much holding the prayer bead and then just channeling its power directly into my other hand, which has the javelin in it. So it's coming from pretty much the what is it? I think it's radiant. So the radiant damage is coming from one hand basically into the other and channeling it into that into this javelin.
Yep. Alrighty. So what happens here is, as you've thrown the javelin, it misses the guard and instead slams into the wall. What happens there is it manages to completely shatter the javelin, and as it does, an immense burst of light suddenly flashes out. Can I get you to please make a Constitution saving throw with a minimum DC of 18?
Let's go. If it will like to load. Let's go.
You rolled yourself a 19. Very nice. Alright. So it is a very near thing, but you are able to shield your eyes just enough that you're able to prevent yourself from actually being blinded. Now, the guards around you don't seem overly affected, however, but you do both have now both of their attention upon you.
This is fine. I am the tank.
You are also the person who hits things. Alright, anything else for your turn?
No, that's me. I use my bonus action and all kind of movement.
Alright, Rithgar.
I will just taunt them.
Fair enough. Rithgar?
I don't think I have to find myself, but I'm going to move to here.
Did you get moved up? That would be the good question.
Been left behind.
Nope, we left you behind in the wards room. Give me a sec. It's like...
This is the wounded guy, isn't it?
no, this one's the wounded guard.
Okay. No, I get to there instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I attack. I get 2 attacks in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I need to roll an extra D8. Extra 2D8.
Alright, so you're rolling that at advantage, or did it just roll twice?
No, I get 2 attacks.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, so both of these are going to hit. So that's going to be a 16 plus the 11. That's 27 plus the 14. That's going to be a 41.
That's the number 2.
Why is this thing not popping up? Alright. And with that, you are going to be able to slay this guard. How would you like to do so?
Just bolting forward and do some sort of crazy combat route. If I come at it, just slash up with my shadow blade
Mm-hmm.
and take him from abdomen to abdomen.
Fair enough. Alright, so this particular guard has fallen without making a cry at the current time, but you do have this single guard who, at this point, has not been able to react quickly enough to actually get any attacks off quite yet, but you guys only have one more round before he gets that. Sorry, one more movement, which will be Norloth, before he manages to do so. So, in that case, you're done with your turn, correct, Michael? Alright.
No.
Noloth, you're up.
Sorry.
Alright, so Luke has moved him on the map. What you doing?
We're getting. Oh wait. I don't want to tell you what to do, but do you have silence? Because we might not be. If we can't get him in one hit, we might be able to silence him. Are you talking to me?
Talking to Luke E. I don't know if Luke's microphone is dead or not, though, because it's not making any sound on my side.
I can't hear him.
Are you talking to me?
No, Luke E.
Oh, I can hear him.
You,
Yeah. He was asking if he had silence. I think I said, are you talking to me?
Oh, no, that was me that was asking.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was you.
so the answer is yes, he has silence, but he's cast it on himself. IRL, I didn't even need to make him roll a nat 1 for that. I will boot him from the chat, I guess. DM that joke. Yeah. Nope, there he goes. And he's back.
Still nothing.
Yeah, still nothing. Let's see if I can be the one to boot him. Sometimes it pays attention when I force it. Ugh.
Not likely.
Apparently not. Alright, Luke.
Nothing, my friend.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Put your typing fingers on.
Type.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to. I know he just came up then as doing something with a weird symbol. Oh, his headphones are fucked. He's trying to connect with his headphones.
Ah.
Okay.
Quick, see how many words per minute he can type.
That's alright. This will all be edited out in post.
Oh. Felix.
Maybe he's reserved his turn and I can go instead.
Nope, he's going to be doing an Eldritch Blast. Alright, 20,
Surprise, surprise.
26, 26, 26. He is only capable of rolling mainly 26s at this point, because he's rolled 4 26s and a 21.
Wow.
What is he rolling each time? 15. He's rolled 3 15s. How? Oh, and then a 25.
So 28, 37, 47, 51 points of damage.
51 points of damage.
Unless it's got modifiers.
No, they've all got a modifier on them.
Yep. Alright, in that case, the Eldritch Blast is going to slam into this guy, but there's going to be Oh, nope. He was typing again.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Alright. So, in that case, Norlov rounds the corner and begins to cast his usual barrage of Eldritch Blast towards this guy. Now, each of the 6 spells that he casts at once surge past and manage to narrowly avoid hitting Will as they smack into the remaining guard, who, despite being hit by 6 spells, is still able to maintain his footing. I don't know if there's anything else that Luke E can do. Is that the end of your turn, Luke? So many people typing at the current time. Is he charmed? No.
No, I mean, Norlov can't saying those nice things about Ciruimon.
What's that? Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, look, I can't believe you would say that.
No, that's to try and transcend into the best DM ever.
Yeah, he is such a good DM.
Like, Team Sam guys.
Guys, I'm right here.
The same nice thing. It's just Norlov saying things.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to assume that will be the end of Norloth's turn, if that's the case. So, in that case, the remaining guard is well and truly capable of handling his own facilities, and Norloth said Soldier should be.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Please ignore the slander in the chat.
Alright, is that the end of your turn, Luke?
Yeah.
Yep, alright. So, the guard has not been in any way incapacitated, and as a result, he begins to yell, even as he levers up his weapon at Will and attempts to make an attack at him. And that's an 8. I'm going to say that attack misses. Or does it? No, it misses. All right. So that's an 8. So he lunges forward. His trajectory has been completely thrown off by the spell that's been cast at him coming from Norloth. And as a result, the blade is instead diverted against the wall, where it clashes with a shower of sparks. He lets out another yell and pretty much continues to do so to try and attract attention. Those of you with a passive perception of 18 or higher, you will be able to hear movement coming from this particular room.
But none of us.
No, that's me.
Alright.
Alright, Solturum.
Is anyone going to shout out? There might be emergency in the room.
Well,
No, I'm busy yelling. No.
Yeah, we've got something.
and I'm gonna try. Is it my? Can we do things now or what? What's the story? Has he had his turn?
Yep, it's Solturum's turn now.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm going to.
Fall asleep.
What happened there?
You're going to firebolt with a 24 that is going to hit, doing
20 damage.
20 damage. That doesn't look right on the numbers there.
It does.
No, but count the dice up.
8 plus 6 plus 2 is 16. Plus 4 for elemental affinity. 20.
Oh, okay. So Sam, it looks like out of the group, I have the worst mathematics skills. you must stay DM.
I mean, to be fair, I've told you that there's 10 elves in here, and I'm fairly sure I'm counting way more. So, sorry, Fae, not elves, Fae.
Okay, so hold on a second.
It does come to 22, doesn't it?
That's what I thought.
16 plus 4.
That's 20.
No, but the actual dice roll are 8 and 4, 4 and 6.
It's what? 14 plus 2, 16 plus 4, 20.
Shh. Don't question the math. It was 3 to 4 points.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you mean?
He's looking at the dice on the screen themselves. I don't generally look at that.
My wife did it. Sorry, I already clicked on it and wiped it.
Yeah, same.
Alright, we'll go with 20. And I was going to do this anyway, but I'm going to twin spell. And I was hoping that what's the effect of I cast a stream of fire bolts at the Fae, which momentarily lifts them off the ground and slams against the wall. What happens then?
How much is that? Just using the standard damage, or are you rolling more damage?
No, that's just the damage in the firebolt.
Alright. So, he's lifted up and slammed into the wall, but he still seems to have a bit of a fighting spirit to him as he immediately begins to struggle back to his feet.
Alright, well, I'm going to twin spell and use 2 sorcery points. Just bear with me while I do this. Okay.
Does the fireball do anything to the door behind?
It does not. The guard takes the full damage. Impact.
I am going to hit him again with a firebolt. Oh, motherfucker.
With a 12. Alright. So, even as he struggles to his feet, he sees the next firebolt coming for him, and using his sword, he manages to simply swat it aside, where it slams into the ground. Sorry? Nope. Alright. It slams into the ground, leaving a charred mark. Is that it for Solturum Stone?
So I twin spelled that, so I have the ability to cast a bonus kinetic barrier action. So I will do that.
Yep. Alright. And with that, we are up to Rob with Tinkrit again.
I'm gonna stab him. And anyone near 5 feet from him?
They're 10-foot squares, aren't they? Or are they 5 foot?
5 foot squares.
Trim to move up there as well. I'm gonna advantage in my attacks.
18 does not hit.
21 does.
It does.
It's 15. I can't go there. 9 blade. Snake. Green flame blade. 20, 27. 42.
Sorry, 43 points damage?
42.
42? Alright.
First attack.
Alright. So this is...
There's a huge.
No, he is barely hanging in there.
Not for long.
I mean, give these guys some credit.
Yeah, they're tough. 11.
It sounds right when you do this, you really are engaging in some sort of Julian jiu-jitsu.
30.
You are going to slay this opponent. How would you like to do so?
I decide to turn him into sashimi. In fact, he's cheeky little fucker. So I cut off his breastplate, slam it down to with a flick of my wrist, slam it down to the floor, so it's in the form of a plate, and then I cut various slices of arm, leg, nose, ear in different shapes, and it lands perfectly and clearly like sashimi on his breastplate.
How very cartoonesque. Alright, so you guys have been able to successfully deal with these two guards in less than 10 seconds. You guys can hear movement as well as the scraping of stone upon stone coming from this room, and what sounds like distantly fading footsteps.
Smash through.
Alright, so this door is locked. One of you would need to unlock it first.
Do you want to unlock it, or do you want me to barge through?
35. Alright, Tinkrit's going to very quickly unlock that. So, Tinkrit, how are you doing that?
I'm going to tip my rapier. I point it into the lock, twist and turn and twist and turn again until I hear a satisfying snick.
Give us a bow. Give us a bow.
I turn over my shoulder, wink, and my teeth seem to shine in order to
Alrighty. So, in that case, as you guys charge into the now newly open bedroom, you're able to see that it looks like the physical form of Puck is currently running for the door. He is right by it.
Do we have the ability to take an action?
So you can do an action. If you guys choose to dash, then that will be your action.
Alright, I choose. Oh, okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, he's-
unhasted.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast a spell on him.
Because now he's mine.
This is like, forget the Order of Prince. This is the pinnacle of the campaign.
He's going to get some Tasha's hideous laughter, so it can knock him to the ground. But how far? I can dash past him. Is that him there?
That's him there, yes.
Okay, I'm going to dash to here,
Alright.
block him.
Oh.
If he moves past me, I'll get an attack of opportunity.
Alright.
And I'm going to cast Tasha's hideous laughter.
Creature of your choice can see that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if the spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone. Wisdom saving throw is rolled and gets a 10, so I'm fairly sure that's not going to beat your spell save DC. Alright, so Puck's reaction to there is pretty much a blur for everyone else as Tinkrit abruptly just runs up this little passageway and into the room and cuts off Puck's method of exit. Immediately he casts the spell, and as Puck begins to back away and is impacted by the spell, he starts off with a short fit of giggles until he falls into an uproarious cackle. He falls backward onto his bed where he just writhes around in laughter.
Oh, perfect. Let's hope the others didn't hear over that woman. Alright. What's the plan? Are we interrogating this fucker?
Want to hear a joke I told him?
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Can't wait.
You guys stole a calendar. They got 6 months each.
Crickets.
I'm not laughing at that.
No.
My private jokes.
Well, I'll give you that. As a member of the Dad Club, you definitely get a nod.
Yes, thank you.
A nod of approval.
I think I get damage for that.
That's the only thing I'm not resistant to.
Wait, no, I have a ring. It's okay.
I'm resistant to dash.
Yeah.
Oh god, if only. Alright, so what would you guys like to do from here?
Let's tie him up.
I agree. We tie him up and kill him.
Agreed.
Alright, who would like to tie?
Oh, me.
What kind of skill is it?
Vaaderlund,
I don't know. It could be sleight of hand. So they're pretty good.
Oh.
One of you do hands, one of you do legs.
Assist each other.
is your sleight of hand insane, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
I
31.
only got 13, so you might be able to roll better. Fish for that 20. There we go!
Speaking of, there it goes.
Untied ever.
It was special seeing it was a red dice on roll 20. It was kind of like the red go faster. Yeah.
Alright, do you want to use or store that one?
I will. Could I use it to try and, as part of the intimidation or duress to get him talking?
Yes, you may.
Cool, I will use it.
Alright.
As you stroll contemptuously up the teacher and show him how it's done.
That's not how you tie a knot. This is how you tie a knot.
I would point out that mine was pretty damn good as well.
Yeah.
His was just better. Alright. So, with your reaction from here, Rithgar, you are going to be able to successfully tie him up and intimidate him in seemingly unbreakable bonds. By the time the spell wears off and he comes to, he immediately has a look around the room and you can tell that he recognizes you. He looks wide-eyed upon Rithgar and just begins quaking where he currently is.
I would do that if we that tied me up.
That is smart.
Alright, so with that, he begins babbling, and amidst all the babble, he begins to refer to Rithgar as his most highest lord. He promises that if he does not hurt him, then Puck is more than willing to act as a envoy, or just as a slave for the great grace that is the power of the lord before him.
Yeah. I demand to know where the occurrences is.
So with that, he begins to try and do a demented sort of bow from his sitting position where he is on the bed. With that, he just begins to incline his head over towards the chest. There is a switch, my lord. He set up a gauntlet of traps upstairs, but that was simply to preserve a fake artifact. He currently guards the true one in his own personal chambers.
Which is through here.
Behind the chest, my lord. Yes, there should be a switch on the third stone on the fourth roll of line. So with that, you guys, with his directions, you are directed towards the correct one, and again there is another rumble, and the wall begins to open up directly behind the chest.
Can I ask you a question, Sam? Just on the roll 20 here, is are you controlling the way the stone looks? Because it looks, it's obviously a different colour when it's a secret door, so you can control the change in colour to make us aware of the fact it's a secret door?
Yes. As I've discovered, I can actually change pretty much anything to a different tint like that.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons I wasn't bringing it up there, just because I figured you guys would probably notice that particular change among all of them, and if any of you play video games whatsoever, you'd probably be like, oh yeah, there's something hidden behind that.
Yeah, no, that's good. I just think it's a nice feature that you can control.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so yes, the door is now open. Now,
I think we take him with us, don't we?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Are we going to do anything with that lady down the bottom there, or He's going to leave that and kick on off.
Well, I could walk there and knock on the door and try and charm her with my, not with the charm spell, but just with the fact that, as Norloth said just before, I'm a really great bloke. So, I mean, I could
When
use
you're
that.
awake.
With the power of good likeness. With the power of good likeness.
Sure, you can try.
See if she has anything interesting that she can tell us.
Alright, you may roll.
Before she turns into a...
Well, no, I'm consulting with my comrades that are in the Ciruimon and Tinker adventuring and bartering this company. Do we think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
It's the last time. Let's do it.
Right.
Might as well.
I'll come with you just in case.
Well, I mean, I think that you're rather intimidated fellow, this girl. And
Hey,
yes, so I think that this is something for the cooperatives leadership team to.
Right, me and Rivka can stay behind. You three fucks can go. I understand.
Well, I mean, to be frank, I'd much rather prefer to have you guys covering my back while we engage in this.
I understand, I get
Very
it.
important. Very important job.
You charismatic folk, you've got it all. Just go chat up that little lady, right?
Alright.
If she eats your face off, it's not my fault.
Alright, okay.
Rivka, me and you.
I go, that's correct, Mr. Farrell, as I tap him on the cheek and give him a winning smile as I walk down the hall towards the library.
So the insinuation here is making me uncomfortable, and I feel like I should use one of the Awaken Fables X cards.
oh really?
Scene.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
And scene. Alright, so.
And now for break.
Alright, so as you open...
Yeah, I politely knock on the door with 3 taps.
Okay. There is no reply from within.
She's run away.
No, knock on the door. What's Trim saying?
Trimp is able to ascertain that it does look like she is still within the room, though she is currently giving the door a wide-eyed view.
I'll knock 3 more times.
There is no reply.
Okay. Is the door locked?
No.
I open the door and walk in.
Alrighty.
So Trim, what if she's not decent?
Well, I'm sure Trim would have told us that.
Trimp's an imp. You really trust him that much? Mischievous little bastard.
Uh-oh, a whole lot of dice just rolled there on the screen.
Again.
Yeah, that's Rob being paranoid.
Surprise.
That's a good way to put it. Rob being paranoid is good for stealth checks.
Fair enough. Alright, so as you guys look this particular woman up and down, she seems to have more human features than any fae that you've really encountered so far, to the point that she does have rounded ears, and even as her mouth opens slightly, you can see that she lacks the pointed teeth of the fae that you've met up to this point.
Alright, I bow towards her and say, my apologies for disturbing you. At what time of day is it?
Midday?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, sure.
This afternoon, finally. My name is Esturan and I just introduced myself.
Don't dox yourself, mate.
Alright, so the woman peers at you curiously before she touches her throat and then gives a bit of a vague gesture.
You want to speak?
She nods.
Have you been enchanted?
She nods, frantically.
Alright, I am going to do an arcana check to see if I can sense whether I can understand exactly what the nature of the spell or the enchantment has been passed on.
Mm-hmm.
I whisper in his ear, be careful, she might be some kind of demon. Like a succubus or something.
Rithgar bursts through the wall.
Right next to him.
Alright, so with the 16, you are able to ascertain that it seems like there is an unusually potent magical spell upon this fair maiden. You are immediately able to detect that there is a spell which is similar to the silence spell that you are familiar with, either personally knowing it or from general exposure from other mages. However, it does seem that that is almost drowned out by an even more powerful spell which seems to saturate the entire body of this woman. You aren't really able to place it directly, but it seems like this woman seems to be under a fairly formidable transformation spell.
Do I know if I cast polymorph on her and damage her so that she is forced to turn back into her normal form and that will break the enchantment again?
With a 16, you are not sure. This particular use of transformation magic is beyond what you've experienced.
Alright. I explained to her that I feel that you have been subject to a very powerful enchantment which has transformed you from your usual form, as well as taking away, or perhaps by way of another spell, taking away your capacity to communicate. Is that what you think happened to you?
She nods frantically.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask one of my colleagues to come and see whether he can determine the nature of what's affected you?
She nods and provides a permissive hand wave.
Okay, that's great. No. Coming up. Please.
Yes, what now?
Would you like a bardic inspiration?
Secret. I think providing whatever assistance you can in your with one of the battle asks them to do would be significant assistance.
Okay. Consider yourself responsible, sir.
Okay, I'm going to explain more what my arcana check has just discovered. Norlaw, this our lady sitting over on the couch over there has been subject to a very powerful enchantment which has not only changed her form, but either has also silenced her, or alternatively she's subject to a second spell which has also rendered her mute. Can you determine the nature of those spells?
I'll have a look into it. So Arcana checks down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move over here.
With assistance from Ciruimon as advantage or not?
I think it should be advantage. I've just given you a big heads up.
He has already done his roll, so he's pretty much provided you with as much knowledge as he has, so I'll provide a +2 to the roll.
And a bardic inspiration.
And that's a D8.
D8.
18 plus.
Alright,
22.
22. Alright, so Norloth, as you begin to cast your diagnostic spells, you are able to confirm what Solturum has been able to discover so far. It seems that whoever this woman is, she has been put under a very powerful silencing spell, which, though cast upon the same target, seems completely separate from the transformative magic. However, the transformative magic is one that seems very similar to polymorph, though it appears that whoever cast this had intended for this to be more of a permanent form. It uses a bit of a strange twist to magic, almost as if it was completely altering whoever this person was on a even more base level than polymorph. However, you are able to find a few keys here and there, and you are able to decipher that you should be able to undo this spell with a suitably powerful counterspell.
And what level is that? Level 4?
You'll be looking at a minimum of level 5 to remove the transformation. For the silencing effect, you're looking at a level 2.
I'll tell you what, we're all fucked if you turn into a massive gold dragon.
No. I don't have level 5 slots.
What do you have?
Got level 4 slots as far as I know.
Okay, so you can communicate that to me and I can cast counterspell.
Yep.
At what level?
5.
All right. So insert your standard Disney transformation here as the beautiful maiden before you abruptly begins to change back into her original base form. Now, when that occurs, you, I suppose, receive the disconcerting sight of a pair of young male human eyes just staring at you as this woman abruptly turns into a person you physically recognize as being Prince Mikul, the person who was allegedly the leader of Clan Solvkling at the time of the Thogcha clan war.
Oh my god. Prince Mikkel.
I believe it was silence then, because he was a bit of a dick.
Well, was he a dick or was Puck a dick? I can't remember.
Puck isn't a dick.
No. Let's just see if he's grateful about the transformation.
Alright, so having to establish that he is now no longer a young woman, he turns to all of you and he does have a look of gratitude upon his face.
Alright, but the can spell should got rid of the silence as well, shouldn't it? I'll have to cast another can spell, Nola.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Don't blow all your counter spells, bro.
I got plenty more counter spells there.
We can get him to write.
Honestly, it's probably better off being silenced anyway, because they're on a stealth mission.
Let's compass away from his hearing. let's not burn the goodwill that we've just generated. I'm just going to say, Your Highness, I must confer with my colleagues. We still need to work out how we can remove the silence spell that's on him. As I'm sure you would expect, your counsel and next steps of this campaign are going to be essential to us.
So he looks puzzled, but he provides his assent.
Alright. Nola, we keep this fucker silenced, or do we actually release him?
Well, to be honest with you, when he was with us before, he came up with the worst fucking plans and tried to make us do them.
Yeah, but that might have been, what's his name at the time?
Yeah, he could have been charmed.
I think what's his name? Puck or whatever it is, or whoever it was.
His pup was with us as well.
Yeah, but, my Lord Tinker, tell me if you think I'm wrong. But, you know the vagaries of the nobility. And
Yes.
he thinks we have the capacity to remove that spell now, and we don't do it for strategic convenience. The goodwill that generated now.
Plus, he's a small child, he'll probably yell at us.
Nobody else is behind us.
He's a child. Let's keep him as he is.
So do we, sorry. Are you suggesting we don't remove the silence?
We don't.
I have some difficulty.
Okay. I mean, we may learn something from him.
I think that's important. Nola, what do you think?
Do we have another silence spell?
Can I go back? No, but I've got fireball, which I can cast.
Yeah. Okay, hard silence.
Yeah.
Can I go back and ask Tuff why this guy was imprisoned here?
Well, actually, that's an excellent one. Sorry, I was momentarily surprised by the fact that Ripcar had come up with such an excellent idea.
So you called me in here for it, say that there's a demon, turns out it's a kid. Not allowed to eat the kid.
That's fair compensation for not eating the prince that hired us.
Is this the prince that hired us?
Well, yeah, it is actually.
Yes.
Was there a king? I can't remember. No, there was the king that hired us. But do you think the king's going to care whether, in this situation, I think he'll want us to take the best care possible of his son.
Yes, agreed. Okay.
The Jarl.
The Jarl, and quaint provincial customs.
Okay.
Alright. So, Rithka, the answer you received from Puck is full of many flowery compliments and weird titles that you're not even familiar with, but it takes you a moment to kind of divulge from him that it appears that the Prince Meikle in the family waiting room has been enchanted by the Autumn Prince in order to, one, humiliate the boy and basically ensure that anybody who had come along would be unable to retrieve the prince, simply by not recognizing who he was.
And why did the Autumn Prince want the kid?
So Puck gives a bit of a shrug by that stage. Well, the apparently the contract is forfeit if both of the representatives of the clan are currently slain. So long as we kept him alive and, I suppose, at least happy to it, well, just alive, then we would be able to fulfill the contract, retrieve your artifact, and win the clan war.
That makes sense. It does raise the prospect, though. Sorry, I'll wait till you come back with some intelligence.
I come back and tell you that.
Does comrades raise the prospect that if we murder him now, the contest is over?
Ooh,
I
loophole.
personally am fundamentally against that. I feel I must identify that as a potential loophole.
We've got lawyers.
If you really want, when we get into like the big combat, I can always banish him.
Yeah, that's an excellent plan. Okay, Norloth, I think we should remove the silence though.
Alright.
Alright, so you guys go back to the waiting room where the prince appears to be aggressively searching through the desk down here. He is eventually able to find what looks like a letter opener. He looks a bit disheartened by it, but as you come in, he just kind of looks expectantly at you and demonstrates that he has found what might be able to pass for a weapon. He is not doing this aggressively.
Well, we can give him the weapons from the two famous kills out in the antechamber between the bedroom and the dining room.
Norloth, you're the one casting this spell?
Yeah.
Alright. So now, with his voice once more released, he takes off into a gabble as if just happy to actually be able to make some sound. After reciting some limericks which were borderline of even making Tinkrit blush, he turns to the group with a broad smile. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to actually speak. Tell me, are the clans still safe?
Well, Your Highness, we have been in the Faywilds now for nearly 2 months. And during that time, both clans have had to unify within the city to defend themselves. There has been, unfortunately, quite significant losses, though Soulpine is still alive and is leading the protection of the remaining clan members. I'm pleased to advise you that at least when we left the city, the children of the clan were still safe, as was our artifact. Unfortunately, the princess of clan
Coldstreak
was murdered by the Fae, but we did avenge her death by murdering the Fae that killed her.
So the prince gives a nod, and upon the mention of his counterpart being murdered, his face hardens, and he gets a bit of a cold look to his eyes. It is better than I'd honestly expected by this point. I haven't exactly been able to keep up on news, being here in the heart of the Feywild, but I'm glad you've been able to locate me. Now, I believe if we're able to steal the artifact from the Autumn Prince, then we can end this farce of a contest and return back to our own world. You're very lucky, actually. We are able to go directly to the prince's chambers. He set up a false artifact past a small gamut of magical traps and spells I've not really seen before. One appears to drop you into a room without either air or gravity, it seems.
Oh, you bring out the greatest hits on us, Sam.
I might have prepared, just in case.
Well, Your Highness, we've already established the fact that the Esutran set numerous traps for us, so thank you for providing us information as to the nature of those traps. We have, however, captured who we know as Puck now, who was always the spy of the Evil Prince.
So upon mentioning that Puck is the one that's been retrieved, the prince breaks into a grin, ferocious enough that you'd almost be able to mistaken him for a Fae himself. Excellent. If you have captured that imbecile of a servant, he contains the prince's keys, and with that, we may not even need to confront the prince directly. We can simply sneak into his chambers, unlock the wards, and take the artifact and leave. The longer the prince has to thinks that the artifact is here, the longer we have to get back to the city.
That sounds like a surprisingly good plan.
He looks at you with puzzlement. Thank you?
Your Highness, just in the event that we run into trouble and difficulty, I do kit up with some armor and some weapons. We took down rather quickly a number of Fae guarding this area, and you should be able to equip yourself with their weapons and armor.
So, taking your advice, and he, escorted by you guys, heads over to the other guards. Now, a fair amount of damage has been done to these guards by Tinkerit's enthusiastic attacks, but he is able to salvage together at least a bit of a tattered set of clothing. It doesn't look like any of the armor is really salvageable, however. The weapons are.
Does anyone have a mending spell?
Yes, I do. Rutger, while that's happening, can you go check the desk?
Absolutely. Sam, that's what I do. I go and rustle through the desk.
The investigation.
What's the DC on that?
Well, that's a nat 1, so...
Substitute that for my 11 that I rolled from Portent earlier.
Oh, you are very lucky you have Portent. Luck-based things, it is the bane of my existence as a DM. Alright, so, with a... Sorry, was it a 14?
So 11 plus 15 is 26.
Wait, say that again?
I had an 11 from Portent,
Yep.
so, and I'm plus 15.
Oh, 26. Okay, yep, sorry, I understand now. I'm herping my derp over here. Alright, so, Rithgar, as you begin going through the desk, you are able to find quite a number of letters and correspondence between the Autumn Prince and various other Fey Lords. You're able to recognize some of the more common ones, such as to Queen Titania, as well as one or two from more esoteric names. However, all of them seem to contain a very similar element. It appears that many of them have been expressing their condolences over the passing of the prince's father. However, he had many debts coming due. It appears that the prince was in quite a lot of debt to the other Fey Lords, and many of them were beginning to call due this as a result, and that may explain the current state of the castle, as well as the minimal amount of guards and servants.
So did it say how his father died?
It does not.
Just going back a second, with the goblins, I can't recall. Did we barter all the stuff we bought from them by way of our hunter's coat? Or did we do it with gold? Because the hunter's coat covered how much they were asking for. Which means we should still have all that. Perhaps the order prints might be, well, we actually have to confront him rather than just, as His Highness has suggested, steal the artifact from his nose. Perhaps he's amenable to a bribe.
Alright. So, as Rithgar goes through the correspondence, his eyebrows raise in surprise. It looks like the amount that is owed to each Fey Lord is a supremely overwhelming amount, and here and there you're able to find a reply from the Autumn Prince to the other Fey Lord, simply saying that he is going to be coming into a lucrative piece of property on another plane and would be able to meet their demands then. There isn't any specific mention of gold or anything like that, but it does seem that many of the Fey Lords are currently expecting quite a high level of gold from him.
Alright, that kills another bit. Okay. Let's go pinch this artifact. I think this sounds like a job for Rithgar and Pincus. And Mr. Ferrell.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so guys, in the bottom right will be the most of the remainder of floor 3. Alright, so much like the part of floor 2, as you guys go upstairs and emerge, before you can get into the stairway, it looks like there is another bolted door. This particular one seems to only be locked, but tinker it, even from a casual glance, you're able to ascertain that the door itself seems to have been be quite more... Wow, I completely lost my train of thought then. Yeah, it's the alarm in the background. I was hoping you guys would not be able to hear that. Nope, there it goes. The door itself seems to have quite a higher level grade of security upon it, so this one might be a little bit trickier than the door down here to unlock, but still well within your capacity.
Shall I check the traps? Actually, Rithgar, that's probably more your line of things. I'm traps, but I'm locks.
Do I find any traps then?
You do not. With a 34, no, you do not find any traps on this door.
Is it locked?
It is locked.
Whoa.
Sleight of hand. Alright, well,
This was the 4.
the DC for this was 25, so you might have beaten it by 11. Alright, so you guys are able to make your way upstairs, where there is another door. Hit me up with a second roll there, Tinker. And you get 25 exactly. Alright. The second door opens and you guys find a smaller little antechamber which appears to lead into a larger room.
Something's nagging at me. Did we check what was in that secret room?
Didn't we just walk through the secret room?
Up through?
Didn't we just walk through the secret room?
Sure, I wasn't sure we were on one of the top one.
No, we went through the secret room into the stairwell. Went through the door into the stairwell.
Sorry.
Up to the third level, and there's another door there.
If you guys zoom out, you'll see that the maps can overlay fairly easily.
Yeah, I've done exactly that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Sorry, are we here on the map?
Yes.
I take it was conceived because Huck has Brotherlund told Rithgar the layout of the floor upstairs.
No information was required. Was supplied because you didn't request it.
How do we see it?
I'm assuming Trimp.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. Why does it keep doing that? It defaults so that it fogs the map as opposed to defogs. Go figure. Alright, so Trimp is able to display a fair size of the upstairs room. Now it looks like the Autumn Prince is currently within the room, much like the actual Prince was downstairs, on one of the lounges, currently reading from one of the bookcases nearby. It looks like there is a fairly decent feast of food nearby, which he currently does not seem to actually be eating from. Directly south of that chamber is a proper actual bed chamber, complete with a desk as well as his bed. Now the only... You're right?
And a bearskin rug.
Oh, and a bearskin rug, yeah. I had to provide some decoration. To be fair, that's because there was a lack of any other rug. Now, the only thing that Trimp was not able to confirm from here was whatever is past this door. It looks like this particular door was magically warded with a powerful enough magical spell that it kind of actively discouraged him from moving forward.
Cool. Is it time to like have a bit of glugging?
I think it's time to tell the fuck up and potion the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the sneak past thing is going to work.
Does potion of speed and haste stack?
Nah.
No, they don't.
Well, okay. I can cast haste on someone. I can cast. Oh, I can cast. I'm gonna look at my spells at third level. I can haste someone. I can't haste above. Haste doesn't. It only casts at third level, so I can haste someone. Right. Do you have haste?
I'm gonna drink the potion.
No, I've got slow, if that helps in any way.
What does that do again?
It basically creates a cube. Everything inside it gets slowed. And it's -2 to AC, and they can only make one action. But
Who has the potential to do the most damage in a hit? Is it still Tinkrit?
Yeah.
And then Norloth? I'm sorry, then Will. Alright.
turn into a T-Rex again. You'll be right.
Some of his forms you can like do ridiculous damage.
So I just need to choose who I cast haste on.
Well, I'm gonna drink the potion of speed, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
Me, please.
Who's that? Will. Okay, I'm gonna cast haste on you, Will.
That way I can get into an animal and just wreck shit with an extra action.
Okay. And how are we gonna take this guy? I'm just wondering whether I should try dominate monster.
Let's just take him hard, the old style.
Do you reckon he
I have a bit of a plan.
do you reckon he'd have a massive plus on wisdom? Oh, sorry, mitigating.
There are some class levels where you can spend a minute looking at an enemy and see some scores.
Yeah.
Does anyone have one of those?
Can I do a nature check?
Been pretty bad at those. Also, can I just summon 2 direwolves? My classic 2 direwolves.
Sam, am I check to see whether I can work out likely strengths or weaknesses of this bay?
You may, but that would be an unintended use, so for that one I would recommend, if you would like to do that as a thing, you would need to expend one of your nat 20s.
So you neutralise the natural, the one I just rolled.
Oh wow, you did roll on that one. Well, it's going to fail anyway. Alright.
I suppose I can't take too much damage from that.
So, as a result, Solturum, as you begin to use the weave to try and eavesdrop on the prince, something seems to trigger him as he immediately stiffens, gets to his feet, drops his book, and turns to the door, and magic begins to weave around his hand. Now, there is an abrupt moment of rumbling before... No, bad Rob, bad. No Horn of Valhalla.
12 barbarians.
The 3, a 2, a 4, and a 3. Wait, where's the +3 coming from? Oh, yeah, it's just one of the things. Alright.
That is why I joined the adventuring company. Here's all our interns, our unpaid interns.
Give me a quick second. There we go. There's one. Alright, so as you begin to blow the horn, a magical spell is set off from the warning that the princess received as to your entrance. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. Alright. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's a bad number.
Oh no, it's just me trying to calculate how big this bramble is going to be. It's like that big. To the back. Alright, so that's going to hit all of you guys. So can I please get a dexterity saving throw? This one is going to be, the DC is set at 24.
I'm not even going to bother with that. Hey, I get advantage on dex saves, so that is proper money.
Here.
Can I just Misty Step out of this?
You could, except I'm going to use your nat 1.
Can I Misty step out of this?
You may try.
I use my daily Misty step.
Alright. Where would you like to move to?
If I'm still alive, I'd like to Misty step to bouncing, doing the thing. Misty step over to him and stab at him.
Alright.
What was it a wall?
Yep, so it's brambles basically coming in. So before you can do the attack, I just kind of want to resolve what's going on with the brambles right now. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
21.
Is a fail. So the only one who succeeded is technically Rithgar for avoiding it, and Will for getting in at 20. Alright, so let's have a look here. For everyone else, you will be taking 18 bludgeoning damage, and then 21 slashing damage as the thorn vines begin to erupt from the ground and begin to twist and try and wrap their way around you. Addison, how does Will avoid this?
So how do the brambles appear? Do they appear from under us or shoot at us?
They appear from under you.
Alright, I slowly see them starting to rise from the ground, and I barrel roll out of the way and pretty much dodge further enough. Maybe is there any ledges on the walls I just grab onto and kind of spider climb?
Sure, let's just say that there's a bracket kind of area.
Yeah, cool. I'm holding onto it like a torch still.
Alright. And did you want to stash that 20 or use it?
What will happen if I use it?
You tell me.
If I use it, can I maybe get some people out of the way? No, wait. I'm gonna get my wolves out. I'm gonna save my wolves, because they would have just definitely died from all that damage.
I take a stand that because I rolled in that one, I don't have any ability to cast a reaction spell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, so that means Luke E, because of the nat one I invoked on you, you're just also going to be fully smacked down by this. Addison, how would you like to potentially get your wolves out of the way?
some of them, like out of the way. Maybe put them in the room.
Sure. You're the one with the nat 20, so go for it.
I'll
Right.
do that. I'll just
Bloop, bloop.
yeah. I'll position them that way.
Alright.
I'll work.
So, for the rest of you, the thorns dig into you and they begin to rip and tear at pretty much everything. Sorry?
Durham's not in there, and nor am I.
Well, you were near the door over here because you were looking through it, remember?
I don't know, Trip was, not me.
No, you guys were looking at him because you're like, hey, can we perceive him in order to see if we can get the weaknesses?
That was me.
That was him.
I accept that I'm in the branches because I rolled that one and I was actually trying to focus on him. So it would make sense for me to be, well, I'm truly fucked up by this.
Yep.
I don't even know where I am on this map anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you are.
I would think that Trip is probably out of it, though. I mean, sorry, Tinker is probably out of it. Like,
Okay.
I'm
Did you
actually,
just kill Trent?
No, I'm going to use a 20 to get him out of it.
Alright. Rob, down to 4. Alright. Easy enough. I will get rid of that imp Rob. Alright, gentlemen, roll yourselves into initiative.
so waiting for. I think Wolf's initiative, but I guess Wolf can go on my initiative anyway.
I'm assuming Trimp is meant to be Tinkrit.
Why is that Trip?
I have no idea.
Weird, let me try that again.
No, you rolled a 24 on my screen. Sorry, I'm not in the chat. It says you rolled a 24 on the
Yeah, I
screen.
did. Yeah. Oh, well, this one's Trip then. That's weird.
Odd. Oh well. Let me just...
Does it come up as Trip on your screen, Stan, is it?
it's showing as Trimp on the... Well, was showing as Trimp on the thingy, but I'll just manually change it. Alright. Autumn Prince rolled himself a 7. Go to figure. Wait. Oh, sorry, he rolled a 5. Alright. And Rithgar get a 25.
No, so it's 13
Oh.
plus 2 plus 1, so only 15.
15. Alright. And Will got himself an 11. Where the heck is Will? Moving the brambles out of the way. 11. And Norloth got himself a 14. And then Direwolves. I generally just ensure that your summons go when you do, if that's alright, Addison.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Quite easy.
Is that everyone?
17 for Salterum.
Oh, yep, Salterum.
So have the brambles gone now?
No, I've just moved them out of the way because they're in the way.
Alright.
I don't know what it is. You guys have the weirdest luck when it comes to rolling initiative, but almost without fail, I'm fairly sure my enemies have always rolled last, no matter what they're doing.
That is true.
Not always, but very often.
Yeah. Alright. In that case, let us begin with Rob and Tinkrit, to nobody's surprise. Alright, so to get across there, you're going to have to be crossing through the bramble patch. You'll need to do a dex save to ensure that you can get through. Oh wait, sorry, actually I'll just count it as difficult terrain for you, so...
You're hasted, so that shouldn't make... Or you've taken a potion, so that shouldn't make a difference.
9, 10. I can go underneath the trim. And still do the 6. Do a dexterity check, save? Something?
No, just go by difficult terrain. Rules.
Yeah, so I've just made it to there then. So I'm gonna stab him. So no one should be surprised.
No.
Look at the classics, my friend.
Spell. Let's have a bit of that. What did that do?
That is a good question. What did that do?
It's just the 6. It's a hex. Okay? So just ignore everything else.
Well, let's roll again. Just do it again.
That's what I wanted. That's what I clicked on. It just gave me everything. So now I'm going to attack him with advantage for the first one. And I'm going to use a 20.
Alright.
So I'm going to double my damage.
Sure, it has to be the guy who's controlling the halfling with no nat ones I can use against him.
That's 14 damage. And the Mind Blade. Well, that's actually 28 damage. The Mind Blade.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. Double 1 for that damage output.
The sneak attack.
Oh, geez, that's terrible.
More, it's still shit.
It's shit.
Green Flame Blade. What is that?
Holy! I thought you were rolling a lot of ones before.
Are you trying to break the world record for the number of times rolled in it?
Number of ones rolled by a halfling.
I can't.
No. Tinker, we are facing you. He's a tough guy. What's that?
She takes half damage anyway.
Here's the 36 plus 16 is 42, 52. 52 points of damage. Plus, I'm going to use one of my strikes. Where is it? Sorry about this, guys. The Blade Flourish. I'm going to use Slashing Flourish. So I think on my basic, I'm going to deal extra damage equal to the number you roll on the die to the target you hit. Let's see if I can put that in. See that?
Holy, that's a wall of text.
Yeah.
Whenever you take the tower, your walking speed increases by 10
That
feet.
just means he just did a shitload more damage.
Your choice, you see, I feel damage equals the number you roll. Defensive Flourish, maybe. Yeah, I'll do Defensive Flourish and it'll double it, it'll give me more points. That's another D8, which will double again to D8. Come on.
You doubled your previous score. Well done. That's a 100% improvement on your previous rolls.
Yeah, great.
Alright. Well, any flavour you'd like to provide?
Frustration. Isn't that funny?
Disappointment.
All my flashes and stabs just don't quite get home. You can see the steam coming out of my ears, my face turning red as I become furious and furious.
Alright. So, as Tinkrit lunges forward and begins to initiate his various attacks, the Autumn Prince begins to move with an almost supernatural speed, even to counter that used against him by Tinkrit. And he begins to almost guide the attacks out of the way by just slaps from his hand against the blade. There are small nicks and cuts which begin to bleed away at the prince's defenses, but it looks like he does not suffer anywhere near the damage that anybody would have expected.
I'm going to make some other attacks, I think. Do I have to do more?
Yep.
With advantage.
What was the record that Tinkrit had for doing damage in one round?
197.
Well, just right there. Alright.
Do you actually have that on hand? No, that's his max damage of everything, if he gets perfect rolls and everything. Oh, right.
I don't think
I
he
think,
can...
I think the most he's done is about 140 something. Yeah, that's something alright.
I don't know if I can use it. Should I use that other 20?
That monster.
I'm sure that'll hit.
the palace in the first campaign, I'm pretty sure it did like 147 damage to it.
I did.
I reckon, Rob, save your 20s for when you get attacked.
I'm armor class 26.
Maybe he might make you do saves though.
Yeah, I've got 4 more 20s, right? No, 3 20s.
Yep.
Right, Sam?
I'm counting 3. Yep.
Okay, cool. 3 20s. I'll just stick with this then.
Right. Both of these will hit.
16. 26. 24. 46. 24, 30, 40.
This is a lot better. Sam, can I just move my character into the middle of the bramble bush?
Go for it.
Yeah. Just because I think that's probably fairly where I should be placed.
57.
57.
And my third attack. Hit.
That's it.
I will see if I'm going to 20 or 19. But
Also a hit.
14. 26. 46. And 38. I should have just done 38. Okay. So 17. 23, 33, 40, 54.
And I think that sets a new record for your damage done in one turn.
There's another 12 points of hex damage for the 2 other attacks.
Yep, definitely a new record.
What is it? What's that time?
Give me a sec.
70 something, 174 I think.
Yeah, about there. Just a sec. I think I need maths.
As I'm reading it out in the bramble bush, I am also in awe of the display of blades I've just seen attacking the Order Prince.
177 damage in total. So you have functionally just reduced this Fey Lord before you from a strong, proud, powerful looking figure, but the damage that you have done to him is intense. He is still on his feet, but he currently has just gushes of silvery blood flowing down from various scratches and cuts which you've inflicted on him within less than 6 seconds. Pretty much it takes him that full 6 seconds for his body to even realize he's been hit, and then abruptly just blood begins to pour from every little cut that you've done. Right.
I didn't get to call my barbarians, is that what happened? They didn't come?
Oh, you can if you want, but I feel like that might be overkill at this point.
You probably just half killed the big bad anyway.
I mean, I can flavor it that the barbarians just ran into the bramble patch and went poof. Which, frankly, I'm inclined to do anyway, because, you know.
He doesn't want to have to roll dex saves for all the 12 barbarians.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, is that it for your turn, Rob?
If there's no barbarian.
Alright, Solturum.
I'd like to spend a natural 20 to be able to move myself in the bramble patch such that I can cast a spell upon the Order Prince.
Alright.
And I'm going to cast it.
I'm sorry, you're going to cast what?
Finger of Death and do 64 damage to it.
Oh, wow. Alright, you didn't know you had Finger of Death. That's cool. 54.
Stick my hand out of the bramble patch. A bolt of necrotic purplish blue energy flows in an arcing pattern towards the autumn prince moving around the beast and slamming into his chest.
See, my mental image is just like of a quivering, slightly bloodied hand just flipping the bird and
Blood dripping off from the 34 fucking points of damage I took. That one.
Alrighty. Oh wait, that does require a Constitution saving throw for me. I am going to automatically pass it.
You take half damage.
Alright.
Well, that's a real tip for tat then. 32 each.
Alright, anything else from your turn?
I'm going to twin spell.
Twin spell, finger of death.
I can't twin spell.
A second hand extends from the bramble to flip off a second bird.
I can fucking. Oh no, I'm finger of death, unfortunately. I am going to twin spell. My other hand reaches forward and pulls myself out of the brambles. Hold a second. Just sorry. Just bear with me.
Don't worry, we're used to bearing with Rob, so I'm sure we've got space for you.
I mean, frankly, if I was everyone else, as soon as Rob starts rolling, I probably would have just gone for a bathroom break.
Yeah, put the stopwatch on.
I'm gonna reach my pull my blunt self out of the brambles and shriek at him while casting Eye Bite and making him panicked.
Alright, wisdom saving throw. I am going to automatically pass that one as well. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I've just had to use 2 points of legendary resistance against you, so...
That surprisingly, Sam, doesn't make me feel better.
I'm trying to survive, okay?
I don't think I can take anymore, actually. I think I've just packed myself out. I have a movement action that I suppose I can try and move out of the brambles.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with this, Sam? Is it rough terrain? Difficult terrain?
Difficult terrain, yep. So every point of movement... Oh god, is it just double or is it times 5? Give me a sec.
Is it double?
I'm fairly sure it is double, but for whatever reason my brain is going, for every foot you would move, it counts for 5. Yeah, it's just doubled. There we go.
Alright, I'm going to move Ciruimon 15 feet over to here out of the bramble patch. Is that a bookcase?
Think that was more like 30 feet.
No. That's 15 feet. I measured it with that thing.
1, 2.
So I was.
Oh no, that's a wall that's right there.
I'm going. Okay, so I have to go
Yeah, see.
there. And then there, it's 15 feet. It doesn't make any difference.
Well,
There's a wall there, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
this whole
you'd be
thing.
there.
So I was there, so I have to go to get out of the bramble patch. I have to go. I have to go straight, don't I?
Yep.
How do I? Okay, so I have to go from there to
Stand on the couch.
to there. Yeah. And jump over the couch. Is the bramble patch in that square? That square there? Sorry, hold a second. Is the brambles in this square?
No.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, yes. I apologize, it is in that square.
Okay, but...
Anywhere you guys can see green, that's where the bramble... Oh, wait, can you... Oh, did I not activate that? Give me a sec.
Kind of in there.
Oh, yep, I'm a dumbass. Okay, anywhere now that you can see green, that's where the bramble patch is.
Okay, so I'm
Alright, Easy enough. Rithgar.
So I'm just going to start screaming as I start to lose control. But this round I'll just slash it in twice.
Both of those are a hit. 13 and 17. That's going to be 30 points of damage.
So there's another. So it should be.
So 55 points of damage.
And one more.
Alright.
If you know.
Well,
And then
I can just outright tell you now that you are about to hand this guy's butt to him. So how would you like to kill him?
Coming in over the top of the MVP award.
I haven't even vomited up my demons.
Maybe that can be part of the flavour.
Alright. Do you mind if I take the flavour for this one, Michael, as you kill him?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So, Rithgar, you stride forward and you begin to make two attacks, one slashing across the Autumn Prince's back, and the second one diving directly through his chest. Tinkrit, on the other side of the Autumn Prince, and Solturum from this angle, the two of you can see Rithgar's weapon, the Rapier of Warning, just bursting out of the prince's chest. When that occurs, there is an abrupt heartbeat where the world just freezes, when abruptly a torrent of purple energy tinged with grey begins to supersaturate the prince's body, and then uses the sword of the Rapier of Warning in order to go up the sword and channel itself into Rithgar instead. Now, this takes all of a eye blink, and abruptly the Autumn Prince before you prematurely begins to age very rapidly. His corpse falls to the ground, long stringy hair just beginning to detach itself now from a desiccated skull as all of his many millennia of being the prince just catch up with him. Before long, there is just a puddle of sludge on the ground, which then blows away into dust. In the meantime, Rithgar, you feel a even more powerful surge of energy go through you, and anybody looking at him, particularly Solturum, you can see a small spark of electricity right behind his eyes before it fades into nothingness.
I collapse back into the couch in awe at what I just saw. Nice slap.
Well, what do we need to do now?
Open the door.
So the prince looks a bit unsure as to exactly what happened, but he mutely leads you guys over to this door over here and gestures to it. This is where he stored the artifact. He brought me up here sometimes to mock me, but if we are able to claim it, I believe we'll have free range to immediately head back into the city.
Norlock, we should check the door for enchantment.
Yep. Just want a flat arcana check for that, Sam?
Yep.
I'll give you I'll help you with that.
Thank you, I need it.
With an 11 and then a 14. Alright, with your arcana, you are able to establish that there is a very powerful magical ward which seems to be saturating the door. It doesn't look like it's something that you yourself will be able to handle at the current time. For this, it looks a bit too powerful for your understanding.
Convey that to me.
I told that to Solturum.
Norlock, do you think if I cast a powerful arcana spell at the door, it will?
Possibly, it's worth a chance.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we should just run straight through it, break the steel crystal, and just run for our fucking lives. I think that's a good idea, Will. I would like to. Sam, if I bring an advantage to North, I can't do it. I can't check myself tonight.
That's right. So basically it's that the two of you have been putting your heads together and muttering about it.
Alright, fine. Yeah, I'll have a look at it.
Use my nap plan.
Yeah, you could always do that. Just as good as enough. Alright, I'm gonna listen to what North has to say and use that 20.
Fair enough. Alright, as you have a check over the warding itself, the iridescent colours that it is currently turning begin to trigger something in your mind, and you begin to recognise the ward in front of you as being that of a prismatic wall, a intensely powerful magical ward which takes very specific magical spells in order for it to actually be destroyed. Are you guys familiar with the prismatic wall spell?
No.
Nope. Alright. So, the wall consists of 7 layers, each with a different colour. When a creature attempts to pass into or pass beyond the wall, it does so 1 layer at a time through all the wall's layers. As it passes or reaches through each layer, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw or be affected by that layer's properties as described below. The first layer is red, so in order to destroy it, you must deal cold damage to it. Does anybody have a cold spell?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, give me the flavour.
Okay, I will pass. It's gonna not kill me. Okay, so everyone move back to the back of the room. I am going to try and hit this. Okay. Everyone, back away from the door. Do not stand in front of me. I'm going to hit it with crossfire.
All right. Alrighty. So, from where it currently is, it takes some time, but eventually the ongoing jet of power of ice magic coming from Solturum is able to break through the red layer. Directly below that is an orange layer. The orange layer can only be destroyed by a strong wind.
Control winds, so I can make it updraft, downdraft, dust.
Let's try that.
What kind of wind you need? Maybe.
Yeah, knock that out. Knock that fucking layer of the prismatic wall out.
Alright.
Just that big.
Alright, hit me with the flavor, Addison.
I pretty much stomped my staff on the floor, and just a huge gust of wind comes from behind me and behind everyone, and just bellows straight through that gate.
Yep. Excellent. Alright, the layer below that is the yellow layer. In order for this one to be destroyed, you must inflict force damage to it.
I can hit it with nerve glance into the break.
I got that one.
Oh, want to do it together?
Why don't we all do it together?
Eldritch Blast!
Alright.
Three more, or is that about?
Little bit of overkill there, guys. Alright, this barrier doesn't so much as give way as it just completely shatters out of existence. Now, the next layer is a bit trickier, as is provided to you. For this one, apparently it requires a specific sort of spell. This one requires either a pass wall variant or another spell that can create portals.
I'll cast banishment. Fuck it right off.
Alright. Any flavor?
No, not really. Just puts a giant purple portal on it and just takes the barrier straight away.
Alright. The one under that is the blue layer. This one is easier. In order to be destroyed, you must inflict fire damage to it.
Can I just say, this is really my voice. This is really my voice. I would appreciate being an opportunity to pop this. I get my use my star for fire
He's talking to you.
and cast fireball.
You just get fire cuffs. That's it.
All right.
I'll absorb. What if I absorb all the elements? I don't pick up anything.
So the wait, really? Wow. So the amount of fire being shot at this singular entrance, it's now enough that it's sort of melted the wall directly around the barrier as well. Now, when the fire and smoke abate, you can see this one seems to have an indigo shade to it. The indigo layer can only be destroyed by using a bright light.
I think we can all do this, can't we?
Oh, yeah, I can do like
Daylight.
in daylight would be good. I was going to do like what's the name? Something, whatever they are.
Yeah, I can brand it.
All right, Solturum, any flavor?
Make an intricate pattern with my hands and cast a spell which causes a sphere of radiant bright light to appear and float down the corridor towards the door and slowly merge into the door, into the indigo wall.
Alright. There is the sound of cracking glass, and one more layer now exists in front of you. Now, this is hypothetically the most obvious way to destroy this. This layer can only be destroyed by a dispel magic.
Guys, I don't know what to do. We don't have. I don't know how to dispel magic.
Don't you?
I thought can spell work.
Counterspell would work.
I can cast that at 8th level.
Yep. That'll do it. Alright. So that will be all of the barriers. Any final flavour you'd like to provide to it?
Well, as I start muttering the spell, the violet wall starts shimmering, and then slowly, like a liquid draining off a flat surface, ebb away to the corners of the door.
Yep. Perfect. Alright. With the barrier no longer there, you guys are able to see into this tiny little room. On a pedestal in front of you, there appears to be a single skull, which has been intricately made out of gold. Alright. Now, as discussed before, you guys have functionally finished the campaign. Would you like me to take it from here?
Sure.
With the 17, there are no traps. The prince did not expect you to get this far. Alright. So, gentlemen, you are able to take possession of this artifact, and when you do, all of you feel a sense of lightening, as if something that had been binding you down is now free, as you are now free of. Now, as you leave the castle and make your way through the Feywilds, your progress through the Feywilds is largely uninterrupted. The very few encounters you have are, as soon as they see Rithgar, pretty much every Fey just immediately turns in the other direction. Upon making your way into Thogcha proper, you guys return in time to see the golden skies above Thogcha begin to dissolve into the more natural blue color that you guys are familiar with. As Thogcha returns to the material plane, you can also get a deep cold sets in as the climate of the Vaaderlund is restored to the natural area. You receive a welcoming committee of Solothyme, and it takes quite a large amount of time before everybody's able to calm down enough for you to eventually tell their tale. After that, it only takes the party a mere a day for everyone to pack up and abandon the city entirely. another 3 days later, and you are at the nearest settlement. And even as you walk in, jovial and happy from the celebration and supremacy that you guys have been able to display over the Fey invaders, abruptly you hear a scream, followed by a voice simply saying, "They're gone! They're all gone!" Gentlemen, that is the end of the campaign. Congratulations. Listeners, thank you all so much for sticking with us this far. We much appreciate you guys listening in, and we hope that we will be able to entertain you with further podcasts in the future. In the meantime, we here in Australia are beginning to initiate the live sessions, and as a result, a few more podcasts will be jumping up from other Dungeon Masters using the campaign setting of Awaken Fables. But I do not have anything personally planned for a little while, but I suppose that depends on the demand. In the meantime, Addison, Luke E, Luke F, Michael and Rob, thank you guys so much for being with me through this campaign and the final one. It has been a great pleasure to DM for you. Like I said, congratulations on beating this campaign. You guys were very honestly tricky to DM for you. Last time I thought I'd gotten the measure of you guys, but nope, you kept acting in ways that surprised me, so you definitely messed with a lot of my plans here and there. No worries. Well, for our listeners, again, thank you all for being here, and we hope you'll tune in next time. So, I'm Dungeon Master Sam, have a great time.